Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Fortnite's Favorite. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. But before I do that, I will let everybody know this is an hour-plus replay. So get your popcorn, get your drinks, get your beef jerky, get the whatever the heck you like to eat or drink or hang out or whatever while you watch a cast, because this is going to be at least an hour long, I would assume. Again, replay, or not replay, but cast time could be a little bit longer than that, I would assume. But let's go ahead and get on into it. Starting off with Team 1 in the north, and ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's Eastern player, we have in Rust, it is Zeros. He is at 2100. He is the highest rated player on Team 1, and he is also the highest rated player overall. To his west in Regal Purple is Space Monkey 007. He is a 900 as a Cybrin. And to his west we have in not Tropical Ocean Blue, it is Glow in the Dark Green. It is Fong. He is a UEF. He is a 1500. And to the northwest in Imperial Gray is Strider as a UEF. He is a 1400. Southwest here we have Stefan Amatis. Stefan for short. He is a UEF as a 1000 rated player. And last but not least for Team 1 is Paradox of War. He is a UEF. He is an 1800 in Amethyst Purple. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 4 UEFs in the west, and then a Cybrin, and then a Seraphim in the east. No Aeons for Team 1. Starting up for Team 2's Eastern player in orange color. Orange is Xrar. He is a Cybrin as an 1800. He is the highest rated player on Team 2. To his west, we have Han Solo. Whether or not he'll shoot first depends on what edition you are watching. He is a Cybrin as a 1200. In Batman Gray to his north is Spectre Slave 137 as a Seraphim as a 1600. In Pac-Man to his south is Twitchy Mofo. He is in 1300 as a Cybrin again. He is in Pac-Man Yellow. To his northwest in Stage Blue is Unleash the Beast, or Unleash the Beast. He is a Cybrin as an 1100. And last but not least for Team 2 in lightish red pink, it is Rekather. He is a 1500 as a Cybrin. So for Team 2 side of the map, everybody west, not actually everybody west, excuse me, we have in the middle is the only Seraphim on Team 2. Everybody else is Cybrin. So no UEF, no Aeons for Team 2, no Aeons for Team 1, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those loyal to the princess. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 12 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 24,000 mass in reclaim, which makes it 2k mass per player. And it is everywhere. And yeah, there's a decent, pockets of 500 in the middle, that sort of thing. But there is just a lot of mass to scoop up. Pretty much that's the high. Oh, there's a couple of 600s in the corners as well. Nothing really higher than that. So there's not like 1,000 or 2,000 mass clumpage together. So everybody's going to get a piece of that reclaim, which means they can scale their ecos a little bit easier. Han Solo going for the upgrade first. So I guess he does shoot first in that regard. And he's going for gun. So definitely aptly situational there. Gun started here for Stefan in the west. And Mexes, we see a Trimex position for Team 2 in the east, being grabbed by Xrar. Spectre Slave grabbing one in the middle, another Trimex, and then another one for Xrar in the southeast, and then another one south of him. So 3 Trimex's positions on the eastern side for him. Dual Mex in the west, and Trimex to the west, and another one to the west for Rekather to grab, as well as another one in the middle for Beast. And that's pretty much about it. A couple of one-offs, as is customary for just spamming up mixes all around the map that map generator likes to do. T2 on the way here for Fong, and Stealth started for Han Solo. He's going to be a little ninja and try to maybe kill off somebody on Team 1. But that is all the intros, all the mass, all of the everything. We're going to see where our players are headed off to. We have a 1v1 in the west, 1v1 in the disjointed east, I will say, because land is not really viable unless you want to go all the way around. But there is Navy started for Team 1's Azuros, so we'll see if Team 2's Xrar does that as well. In the middle, it's going to be a little bit more of a hodgepodge. There are 2 comms for Team 1, 1 for Team 2. Over here, that is for Beast. There's 1v1 between Spectre and Fong. And then there's going to be 1v1 between Han Solo and Space Monkey. Team 2's only player not to leave his main base, at least super early, is Twitch Mofo, and he's also going to the middle. Like I said, just a hodgepodge of comms here. It is 4 and 4 if you count Twitchy Mofo in there. So everybody is not in their main bases. No one's hanging out, just focusing on sim sitting or ecoing. They want to get a piece of that action. Gun started for Rekather in the west. I think that's everything. Stefan has gun, of course. Stealth started first for Beast. Usually it's gun for Cyberns, but guess he wanted to go for stealth first. Then gun started for Fong. He has T2 on board. And Han Solo is going to try to strike first here. He may be able to get credit for first damage to a comm with his own comm, or a comm with comm action. We see Space Monkeys on the western side and Han Solo's on the eastern side, so staying a little bit away of that. It is no gun versus gun and stealth. And I don't think Team 1 can see him. No, they can't see him yet. There they go. They can get a little bit of vision on board. And in the west, some more action here for Stefan. And he's just going after a couple of units. Gun started for the Beast. I always want to say Unleash the Beast. It's technically Unleash the Beast, or whatever. His gun upgrade actually gets canceled, and he retreats home. T2 done for Azuros in the east. And nothing for XR as of yet. But the first comm action has a good actually between Unleash the Beast and Stefan. I'm just checking to see if anything happened over here. No, it did not. So that is actually the first technical damage to one another. Units just pour into the middle. Team 1 will have a slight advantage with that gun upgrade on board Stefan. But besides that, nothing really crazy in terms of one advantage over the other. We do see a force inbound from Fong pushing the middle, driving back Spectral Slave and Twitching Mofo, or at least trying to. In the east, Han Solo's all on his, I was going to say lonesome, but I guess that is actually the way to put it. Gun started for Spectral Slave, and gun is on the way here for Space Monkey. In the east, Azuros being hit by a couple of gunships inbound from X-Bar. There are some Renegades. They are decent gunships, definitely better than the Jesters, of course, for damage. Looks like he's going for some mass assassination just to drive Azuros into the dirt. In terms of his eco, just crash it like the stock market back there in the Great Depression. We do see T2 online here for Azuros as well. Again, he is Seraphim, so he has those cruiser missile nonsense, which will probably be a nice little revenge for him once those gunships have been dealt with from Team 2's X-Bar. Nano repair started for Han Solo. Stealth started for Space Monkey. In terms of faction numbers, there are 6 Cyberns in the game, and there are 4 UEF, 2 Seraphim. I did that math right? Yeah, 6, 4 is 10 plus, yeah. I was like, wait, that for some reason I counted 11, but no, it's all 12. Tactical missile canceled for Fong. He's thinking he's a little bit too far forward, and he's being shot by some missiles. That's definitely smart in that regard. Gunships still running amok here for Team 2's X-Bar, getting tons of value out of them. Really assassinating a lot of that mass. A couple of gunships actually around that location for Azuros, but the cruisers nearby will provide enough coverage in air to be perfectly fine. Shield has been starting here for Stefan. Beast trying to force back Stefan, but I don't think he's going to leave. It's already over 25% done. Looks like there's some more units inbound from him, so that might actually drive Beast away, actually. And the east missiles just raining back and forth, or at least back, not forth, for Team 2. You ever get that feeling where you have to sneeze and your nose is like, you're going to sneeze, and it kind of like builds up the anticipation, and then it doesn't happen? It kind of happened right now, so my nose is super annoying right now. Anyway, Nano started here for Space Monkey in the middle. Tactical missile restarted for Fong, and Stealth on the way here for Rekather in the west. And we do see those cruiser missiles driving back X-Bar, and he's losing mechs after mechs after mechs. But same thing for Azuros, so it's a nice little trade here. T2 Air Headquarters might go down. That's going to be very annoying for Azuros. He's essentially been knocked back to almost the Stone Age. Well, FAF Stone Age, I should say. And now the gunship's not finishing off Azuros' the everything, going after Space Monkey's stuff, locking out him of any sort of headquarters in his base, which he doesn't have any because his land facility is actually not in his base. In the east, Han Solo being hit by a decent amount of forces. Space Monkey is dropping into the yellow. Needs to be careful. He has Nano on board. Han Solo does as well. There's a lot of forces inbound from Fong to assist. And it might be enough. No, I don't think that's enough to kill Han Solo off. There's some units inbound from Spectre Slave. That should be enough, actually. Gunship's still running amok. T3 Air Headquarters has been the target of opportunity, but the P3 Pigeon is going to actually be the main focus. And the Pigeon goes down. I thought engineers were reclaiming it, but I guess they got killed, at least the ones that were ordered to. Unfortunate. The gunships are finally denied by Team 1. That's a lot of devastation. Mashin comes roughly about the same. Actually still leading for Team 1. But losing a T3 Pigeon as a T3 Air Headquarters next to it, not super great. Got to get those Pigeons, keep them alive. That will essentially set back Strider a little bit in the UEF ASF productions. Team 2 also has T3 Air online. That's Twitchy Mofo, T2, and looks like T3 Land. So yeah, only one air player for Team 2 so far. Team 1 sitting at no, they're going to sit at 2 here shortly. Gunship's still over here for Team 2's X-Ray. Just tons of value out of that thing. There's even more gunships inbound. X-Ray is just going for blood. He's going for death in this game. He wants somebody to just leave, maybe. I don't know what his goal is, but he's just going to drive maybe Azuros to an early grave in terms of just knocking him way, way back. I mean, Azuros, 82 mass a second, and those mexes are going to go down here shortly. There's not a lot of incoming support from Team 1. There's also some ASFs as well helping to protect the gunships, so they're actually doing very well in keeping those things alive. Gunships not able to puncture the AA around those cruisers, but T3 Land is online. He's producing some bricks as we speak. And Azuros, all of his core mass is dead. Literally everything is dead over here for Team 1. Devastating for Azuros, and there's more mexes going to be targeted, but there's a lot of AA, and that amount of Team 1 AA does essentially one-tap those gunships, so going to drive those back. In the middle here, nothing really crazy has happened besides Unleash the Beast pushing in, Fong pushing in as well on the opposite side of that mountain range. Space Monkey trying to cut off Han Solo from the rest of the everything else on Team 2, and Twitchy almost at stealth and going for Nano now. 16.5 minutes, actually 16.5 seconds, actually really good for an upgrade speed. T2 land facility might actually go down here. T1 AA does get killed off, and now Space Monkey is the recipient of more damage. He's lost some stuff in his main base. Azuros has essentially been knocked back heavily in this game, and it's going to be a minute before Azuros gets back up to more fighting speed. Again, he is getting those cruisers online. He's driving back XR at a minimum, so it's a nice little fighting back, nice little revenge there. Space Monkey and Han Solo is still going at it in the middle. No one's really gaining one way or the other. There's some T1 PD being deployed, most likely for a fallback position for Han Solo. Gunship's now running him up over here for Stefan. Everybody's just feeling the pain of those gunships. But again, everybody being hit by them means everybody building AA in their bases or somewhere, which means those gunships are going to be less and less effective. Of course, that's vital resources going to AA instead of units or upgrades or whatever. But at a minimum, it's like, hey, that's only going to work for so much time. It's not going to work anymore. You're going to have to do something else kind of thing. More T2 mexes being killed off. Team 2 starting to gain a huge lead now. Almost 700 mass income. Team 1 not even 600 yet. And of course, that's partly driven by all of that gunship rush nonsense going down for XR. Unleash the Beast holding out. We have Fong moving in. Either he sees him or he doesn't. Team 2 sees him. Team 1 sees him, so no real advantages there. A couple of PD over here to the west, though. And it looks like it's going to be enough. It's gun, missile, and T2. Oh, missile is outbound. And Unleash the Beast does not get hit. He actually stops moving for a brief moment. That's just enough to dodge it. Stefan going for T2. He has gun. And he tried to go for Nano, then he canceled it, went for T2. He actually has a shield on board as well. Maybe he goes T3? Oh, stays at T2. And Fong being hit for a decent amount of damage. There are some now whalers inbound from Team 2's air player, Pucci Mofo, and that might actually be the first kill of the game. And Fong dropping into the red, sub 3,000 hit points. It's going to be close. There is some AA, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Fong is going to be the first death of the game. There he goes. Team 2 scores first blood. It's a 6v5 in favor of Team 2 in the east. Gunships almost kill off a Zeros. He gets into the water, and also some bricks over here as well, helping to assist with that. And Zeros has dropped pretty much to 1,000 hit points. His entire base was knocked out. He was about to get knocked out himself. T2 Torp Bombers inbound to just drive that headquarters into the water and kill that off permanently. So XY is just not letting up on a Zeros. He's just like, go, go, go. Not giving him any moment to rest at all. Han Solo and Twitchy Mofo pushing in against Space Monkey's facilities. Team 1 PD has been spammed up at least a little bit, but they're being knocked out by the range and the Team 1 Medusas nearby from Han Solo. It is a 2v1 affair, so that's not going to go Team 1's way. It is gun and nano, gun and nano, and gun and nano. So it is gun nanos all around. So the number is going to just favor Team 2 in that engagement. In the west, nothing really happening. Units have been built up for both teams, but kind of just hanging out for the time being. Record they're getting a nice little T3 engineer next door, but he has gun and nano, and the comm of Paradox is actually back here. He's falling back to more of a defensible position, at least back there. So, no real engagements over there, more just posturing, kind of like a Cold War over there. Han Solo's still alive over here. He's been moving back and forth. He dropped, I think, a little bit into the yellow for a brief moment, then back up into the green. He's like, maybe I misread that or something, but he's been running around for a while. And again, just trying to keep Team 1's forces at bay, at least in the middle there. In the west, it's again still a back and forth. Stefan loses almost his entire shield. Almost the Beast is a little bit surrounded, but again, nothing really that worrisome. In the east, more ASFs now stacking up for Team 1. They're done. They're entirely just fed up with Team 2's air, and they're just going to just knock them out. How we still lose air. Says XR. Well, he went after more land players, not necessarily air players. Yeah, the T3 Pigeon was knocked out, but the headquarters was not. And it looks like Paradox, of course, is a little bit more focused on air now, and that's due to the fact that he hasn't really been engaging on land. Han Solo versus Space Monkey, and they're still throwing shots at one another, but because of the regen, 96 and 102, it's not really doing a lot of damage to each of the comms. Essentially, they regen it almost after the shot lands. So it's kind of just we're going to shoot each other because there's nothing else better to do kind of thing. A couple of bricks in the water. They do eliminate the T2 naval headquarters for Zeros. There are some T1 torp launchers being built that will actually outpace the damage for the brick. So that should be enough to keep those ones at bay here for Zeros. But again, he's lost his headquarters. It is unfortunate, but he didn't die, so that's good. He has Nano T2 and gun on board now, so he's back up in the green. I don't think he's going to get sniped anytime soon, at least if he at least stays underneath AA coverage. I'm going to snipe him, says Paradox. Ooh, that is going to be an interesting thing to keep track of. 20 minutes on the clock, and Fong is the only player that has been killed so far, so it's still a 6v5 in favor of Team 2. Eco situation for Team 2, 1.1, almost probably 1.2k. Team 1 not cracked 1,000 at 817, a little over 800. And again, that's partly due to just the rampaging renegades that happened by XRAR, where they kept Team 1's eco essentially down while Team 2 could scale a lot quicker. We do see that Team 1 is pushing both on the east and the west here in the middle. Stefan getting a nice little PD base online. The bricks are moving in. That might stop that push. The shield generator goes down. He gets another Team 1 PD online, but I don't think that's going to be enough. And in the east, we see a couple of Optims just pushing down the middle from Spectre Slave. Haven't seen much out of him so far. He's going for, I think, more eco. Currently sitting at 125, so maybe not. I think he just might not have as many mechs as all of his other contemporaries. He does have Nano almost done, and he has taken some damage on the comm, so probably was in the middle for a period of time and then just walked back. There is an actual access point right here, so that is something to be concerned about if, let's say, Stefan diverts east instead of west. But it looks like Team 2's Han Solo is going to move in and maybe try to sandwich with Beast against Stefan, maybe. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. We do see a little bit more movement in the west between Rekather and Paradox's forces. I think Paradox might have it. just based on the parashields and Percy numbers, but the bricks are annoying. They're known as the mobile wall because of the brick wall nonsense, so that is something to be concerned about. And those Othams don't actually get stopped by Team 1, continue to just go after Stefan's stuff. We do see again Stefan trying to possibly meet Han Solo on the battlefield. Nano repair started for the Beast, and the missile launchers here for Spectral Slave might be enough to force Stefan to fully retreat back to his main base. Those Othams continuing to push. They might actually get into his main base. There's also a couple of bricks running around for X-Ray that get killed off, but again, they got actually pretty far considering. Looks like the Othams are going to be diverted. They will call off all of the expansionary mexes here for Stefan, really keeping Team 1 underneath that 1,000 mass threshold for Eco. Team 2, 1.4, Team 1, 900, so that lead is about 500. That is going to be concerning. We're only 24 minutes in the game. That could mean Team 2 goes early, game ender or something, or they could just ramroad someone straight through the middle or something and just knock out an entire base. We could see bombers inbound, and X-Bar gets, he almost gets one-tapped by Paradox of War. Oh, okay, well, you know, there they are. Kaboom! Paradox of War said he was going to snipe him, and that's what X-Bar has now suffered, and he also wins air. So not only does Team 1's Paradox kill off a player, he wins air, and now he's going to start carpet bombing everything. Looks like he's going to go after the air grid. Essentially knocked the airplay of Twitchy Mofo back into the Stone Age. Deserved, says Ozeros. I wouldn't say deserved, but, you know, stuff happens. Ooh, Team 3 air headquarters is down for Twitchy Mofo. And now it's going to be a snipe, most likely on this position. Here goes some more P-Gens going down. Oh, it's just not going well for Team 2's backline. Team 1 desperately needed this, especially for the eco lead that Team 2's still has. And, of course, now they're going to target some T3 mexes. Nope, those don't drop. More of them. They're targeting all of the P-Gens, which, of course, if you don't have enough power, you can't run your mexes as efficiently, which means you can't even produce as much mass as you normally would be able to. That is another strategy instead of just going after the T3 mexes. And, of course, also going after the P-Gens means you can't really produce any sort of ASFs or anything to fight back. So Team 1 has air control that is essentially actually airlocked Team 2 for a little bit, given the ASFs are still here. There's no T3 air facility online except for the one in the east. For Spectra Slave now that XY has been defeated. It is a 5v5 game, and there is definitely avenues for both teams to be winning. We do see those Othams go all the way through this position. Paradox of War is retreating in the face of them. So many mexes from the Spectral Slave just cut off of the face of the planet here. Dang, look at that. This Trimex position. There's another 7 mexes here. Sorry, 4 mexes for 7. Then another Trimex for 10, 11, 12 mexes killed off. Did a very good job with that push. I thought they'd be stopped right about here, but they just kept on going. Battle in the West kind of didn't really go either team's way, but at least Rekethor does retain original control of his facilities. Granted, those mexes are dead, but at least he can scoop up the reclaim at a minimum. The Spectral Slave now pushing in. Of course, he has 2 bases under his control with the death of Xrar. We'll see if he gives this one over to Han Solo. You would assume that he would, but maybe not. And those gunships still alive in the backline here for Twitchy Mofo. Those did not get killed off, coincidentally enough, so at least Team 2 has something. But we do see some gunships going after Rekethor. They'll snipe him. Nice grab by Paradox. That's number 2 kill for him. 1 by Strat Bombers, 1 by Broadswords. Really showcasing the power of the UEF Air Forces. And now on the Marksman side, maybe we'll go to Spectral Slave again. Maybe we'll go to somebody else. At least the front line should be probably gifted over to Beast just to make it a little bit more, not annoying, but a little bit more easier to control. Because he's not running, you know, the east side of the map, west side of the map, east side of the map, middle of the map, that sort of thing. Battle in the middle of the map, speaking of which. Going Team 2's way for the most part. There are a couple of Percy still alive. Oh, Otham underneath the parashield. That doesn't help things. He's booping. He's like, no, you're not going home. Just will not let that pillar go home. I just want to go home. No. Michael Lloyd in the middle of the map here for Team 2's Han Solo. Again, it's a lot of back and forth. The fluid's been very fluid. There's no real leader in terms of Team 1 or Team 2 owning the middle. Ras started for Azuros' Calm. Strider's Calm in the water up to the north. And Paradox of War hanging out over there next to his base. It is a 4v5 game here in favor of Team 1 for the first time in the game. Team 1 is leading in terms of the comms left alive on each team. And the mass incomes have actually started to... Oh, okay. That might be power related, so maybe give it a second. But Team 1 sitting at 1.3k, Team 2 1.5, 1.6, 1.7k. Most likely power related, maybe, maybe not. And let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game at 28 minutes on the clock. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, again, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. And of course, commenting, supporting the channel that way, and all the super thanks that everybody else gives that I will never ask for, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. So thank you for those who have done that. I should have made a shout out during the Christmas time where a lot of them came in, but better late than never. So thank you to those who do that. Gunship's about to just wreck that Monkey Lord. There are a lot of lightning tanks stacking up for Spectre Slave. He's kind of fed up with the air power from Team 1. So he's deploying those. Would like to see a little bit more flak in there, but at least at a minimum he has AA. On the eastern side, Spectre Slave facing off against a more fluid bombardment in terms of those naval, pseudo-naval forces underneath the surface of the water. There's also some gunships stacking up for Strider as well, so that's not going to be great for Spectre Slave's eastern eco, because those mexes are undefended quite heavily, and that base isn't really defended as well, so that's not going to be a great thing for him. Air grid being re-expanded upon actually quite quickly, I might add, by Team 2's Twitchy Mofo. Put everything he had in the kitchen sink into that thing. Ooh. Whenever you have a shield and a stealth field right next to one another, things usually get built there. So we'll make a note of that and then go back to it here in a couple of minutes, because maybe something's going to be built there, maybe not. It is approaching the 20-minute mark, so players are going to start to be thinking about how to end the game. Well, okay, maybe one way is just bombard the entire Team 2 side of the map in plasma fire. Again, all I'm thinking about is the opening cutscene for the Forged Alliance Forever, not Forged Alliance Forever, Forged Alliance DLC, where it's on Earth and all those LSR bombers come into screen and you're just like, this is bad. They just bomb everything. Nice drop there, kills off the Monkey Lord, ensures that it dies. Not Spectre Slave, but Space Monkey was nearby. He would have been fine, though. He had nano and 5-star veterancy and whatnot, but nice to just ensure that one of your teammates survives an encounter. Gunships have been spotted by Team 2. Bomber going to land right in the middle of all that AA. That's got to hurt. Not great. Yeah, that's one of the worst things about that bomber. You get them in a large T3 army, you drop it right in the middle, and it's nights. It's not nights, but it's lights out for that army, especially if there's no parachutes or whatever. Bomber inbound for the main base of Han Solo. It will actually drop one payload. It will actually might even grab Han Solo. He's kind of next to a P-Gen, and that's a kill with the crash damage. I think the crash damage barely got him, but that's going to hurt Team 2. Yep, Han Solo, that is not a control K. That is a kill credited to Azuros. So that is now a 3v5 game in favor of Team 1 still. And the eco's now at 1.5, 1.5 with the death of the eastern side for what once belonged to X-Bar, now under control of Spectre Slave. You wouldn't be dying to air if you can beat 900, says X-Bar. I mean, some players, they have a really good game when they play above their skill rating. Some players have bad games and they play below their skill rating. I mean, the rating system is more of a average than anything. I mean, it's kind of an average, but it's more of a general, like, you know, a 2,000 rated player is going to play anywhere maybe between a 21, 22 to maybe an 18, 17. Like, it's just because you are a certain rating does not mean that you will play as a quote unquote a player like that every single match. So that goes for, you know, 900s, 1500s, 1100, whatever rating it is, you always a little bit above, a little bit below, or sometimes right, dead on. So again, No throwing shade at one or the other. I treat everybody the same. I don't care if you're a 0. I don't care if you're 2,000. I don't care if you're 3,000. I don't care if you're negative 2,000. I'm going to fight as hard as I can, and not necessarily no mercy, but pretty much no mercy. So I'm going to treat everybody the same in that regard. At least that's how I feel in terms of that. Strat bombers inbound for Strider going after, I guess, the brick wall? I don't know if that's really worth it for strat bombers, but I mean, it softens up the T3 force a little bit, but I don't really think that was worth 3 of the 4 bombers, or even all of the bombers. Looks like X-Bar is just commenting about losing rating. I know there was some comment earlier about he's really just wants a win. I think that's when the gunship raids were happening. He's been maybe he's been having some bad luck in terms of games where his team has just lost back to back. I had that happen one time. I was playing, maybe I've told this story before, on Halo Infinite when the multiplayer first came out. I was doing some of the ranked matches, and it was like every single match was just, it was close. It wasn't like any one team was just stomping us, but it was just 10 points, 5 points. But it was like 8 or 10 matches in a row, and I'm like, I'm done. Nah, I'm just done with it. And it wasn't even placed yet. I was playing against like the highest rated players in the at that time or whatever. I forget what the rating system was, whatever the mythic, whatever that naming scheme was called. I haven't played it since, essentially, but yeah, just not fun. Nah, good time. Anyway, while I'm ranting about nonsense, Team 2 1.5. Team 1 has now gained the lead in Eco 1.8. We do see that bomber still running around for zeros. Anything spicy going on for Team 2? Crabs and more shields. Ooh. Okay, remember that whole stealth field P-gen thing? Or not P-gen, but shield generator thing? Scathis is half done. Spectral Sleep sitting at 900 mass, so over half of the mass for his team. He can build that thing real quick, and I don't think Team 1 is anywhere near aware of that. No, they still think, they still see that it's been owned by Rekather, so no idea what's going on. There is that bomber over here, though. Oh, and it's right in the middle of that air grid just when Twitchy Mofo just finished building it again. Ooh, that's going to hurt. The T3 Air Headquarters is barely alive, and the bomber has been knocked out of the sky, but he's like, I just finished building it. It's like the guy from Avatar: The Last Airbender. My cabbages, and every 3 or 4 episodes, for some reason his cabbage cart just gets annihilated. He's like, my cabbages. Gunships over here, more and more broadswords stacking up. Probably should have all of them controlled by one player. Again, the whole 2 air players, it's nice, but sometimes it's better to just have one player have all the ASFs and then one player have all the gunships or broadswords in this example, just so that one can control the air-to-ground weapons and one can control the air-to-air weapons a lot easier. So, just food for thought. And there's also strap bombers mixed in there, so, air-to-ground weapons, those things. Team 1's middle player of Space Monkey spamming out some Team 1 Medusa just to keep Team 2 occupied in the middle, and they've actually driven Team 2 back quite decently back up to their main plateau area. A little bit hard to tell from the main view, but they're on a little bit higher of a plane. There's that bomber inbound from Team 1 once again from Azuros. Wonder how far. Oh, it's a lot closer than I thought it was. And it might be going. Nope, it stopped for a little bit. Never mind. Attack in the west. That crab is just going to get absolutely. Oh, no. Nope. The gunships get driven away by the AA, so forget what I just said. Scathis is almost done. 36 minutes, and it will be done. And that's going to be the first game ender of the game. No shielding. No shielding. A little bit of shielding, but not enough. Not for a Scathis, at least, and everywhere else, not really of much note in terms of large group of P-gens. So Team 1 is heavily exposed. There's the Scathis. It's now done. 36 minutes. First game ender of the game has been completed. And the shots should be raining in here shortly. Team 1 trying to make a push on the southern side. Space Monkey notes it. T4 talking about the Monkey Lord. And the forces are stacking up here for both him and Stefan. And Scathis fire should be raining in. There it is. 2 bombers inbound. Or maybe inbound. I don't know. Scathis fire raining in on Paradox of War's position. And a little bit of shielding will be able to buff out a couple of those shots, but it should not be enough to divert all of them. Okay, there's the first volley knocks out the shielding. So we'll see if, yep, next volley's inbound. And Space Monkey making another comment about another T4. Azeros, you're looking to lose some points, says X-Ray. And I don't know what he's talking about, but maybe he's referencing the Scathis or something. There's the shots inbound. SMD almost taken out. That's 3 loaded, actually. No shields around this, so another volley should be enough to knock out the air grid. I lost enough games today, says Azeros. So both of them are probably just annoyed that they've been losing games. And no, the air grid's still alive, but they're heavily damaged. You always wanted to lose points. Oh, I guess talking about maybe wanted to be a little bit lower rated. And now the Scathis has actually changed targets, going after Strider's base. They didn't finish the base off. Team 2 should know that. Yeah, they still see the stuff. And there's spy planes inbound, so I'm kind of surprised that Spectreslave didn't finish off the job. And now he switched targets again, going after somebody else. Oh, okay. Well, if Azeros is building a YOLO, okay, that would make sense if he spots. Oh, yep, that's what it would. Yeah. Yep, that's the thing. T3 Pigeon's not being shielded. That's not great. That's a lot of power. How much Azeros power does he have in reserve? That should be enough if he loses those Pigeons, but still going to hurt regardless. Attack in the west. Crab being absolutely surrounded by T3 forces. Gunships over top going to get ripped apart by the AA. Why target me, says Azeros. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're building a game ender. We saw YOLO. It's 10%. It's like, why? No. And I'm bored. So there's, okay, if you're bored, I get it if you're bored, but still, like, I mean, you're the only one on Team 1 so far that I've noticed of building a game ender, so, I mean, who else would they target? I mean, you know? It's a compliment, maybe. I don't know. There's something, some good thing in there somewhere. Looks like Monkey focus here for Spectre Slave. There is that force that's mostly been dealt with. Look, it's dead now. You happy? And is it dead? Oh, look, it's dead. Look at that. He's kind of been punished a little bit in the beginning of the game as well by X, where it just absolutely annihilated by that renegade push. So he's kind of been just feeling the burn, I guess would be one way to put it. Nothing big ticket item yet that I've noticed. Artillery started for Team 1's Strider, though, so that might be a little bit of help. And the range does reach the Scathis, so that is good. Scatus. It's actually pretty close. Attack in the west by a couple of Percys. That will most likely be stopped, but some AA weapons will be knocked offline, so maybe some gunships could come in and finish the job. Fong says focus mexes. I mean, maybe, but the forces are already mixed in. Kind of too late on that front, unfortunately. We do see Team 2 trying to just keep Team 1's land forces at bay at this point. We'll see if they're able to do that or not. I mean, there's a lot of course, focus going to be drilled onto that Scathis, so they need to defend that with all they got, and then some. Eastern side being spammed up by some Team 1 Zooey, but a couple of bricks have been able to handle that for the most part. Looks like the artillery now being focused down by the artillery piece from Team 2. And all the engineers pretty much are dead. So there went the shielding and everything else. And I don't see any big or ticket items here for Team 1 as of yet. Nope, the YOLO wasn't restarted. Another shot inbound. And I think that might be enough to kill off the air grid for Strider. Yep, there it is. There's most of the air grid. There goes the headquarters. That's the main thing. Artillery's still alive, but not by much. And it's just going to continuously just launch cluster after cluster of shells. Artillery pieces individually being built, though, by Twitchy Mofos from T3 regular artillery. So that'll be one T4 and a couple of T3s here shortly. A couple of bombers overhead by Strider, who has control of those. Nice little groupings there going after the 2 crabs. Really gets one crab in between both those. That was nice placements there. Another volley is shortly inbound. Not a lot of AA, though, which means those bombers might have a good time. They're going to actually go after the brick force, which that'll actually be a great grab there. And they're going to really just ensure that those bricks are dead. There goes that one. Nice grab. And doesn't grab the other ones because they get away. But at least half were killed off, so great use of those bombers there. A lot of mass being sent to Space Monkey. Don't know what he's building, but he's building something. Base for Azuros getting just bombarded by Scathis once again. Just not catch a break this game. That volley again is once inbound. Yeah, Azuros just not having a fun time this game. Laser started for Twitchy Mo. Not Twitchy Mo. I'm sorry, for Space Monkey. Where is he? He's going over here. He has T3 in Ras, so maybe he'll go teleporter. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. And in Team 2, I would expect at least one telemaser because there was 5 Cyberins, but when you only have 3 players left, 2 of them are Cyberin. A little bit risky going for telemaser, especially with a player roster like this. I mean, players definitely know how to counter it pretty quickly. That crab dead in the middle. Just shield the everything. Monkey's like, I will protect you. I am the defender. That is, I think, the best telemaser defense is just a monkey. Honestly. It's probably the best thing to deal with. I mean, it's pretty rapid response. The laser does a lot of damage. Essentially, I think it's the same range as the regular telemaser laser anyways. So essentially, if you're in range of the you're in range of the monkey, the laser will fire for both things, so. Oh, there goes the air grid for Paradox. So Team 1 has lost both of their main air grids. Headquarters is alive, but just barely. Team 1 is under constant bombardment. Gunship rush is gunship attempt is inbound. Bomber killed off. Another bomber killed off. I think those gunships might pull back. Scathis actually firing on land units over to the west. Granted, there's really nothing here, so I don't know what they're really going to damage, but I mean, they're going to kill off a couple of the mexes, which is something, but I don't know if it's worth it. Airfight happens over here on the western side. Team 2, I think, will win. I think Team 2 will win air control. Paradox not really moving to ASF, so it's going to be a fight for Team 2, or win for Team 2, I should say. But there goes that. Looks like Fong's trying to assist his team from beyond the grave. He's been shouting out a lot of stuff throughout the game, so I love to see the man in the chair, helping out his team even though he's no longer alive in it. 3 chickens and the monkey walk into a bar. Team 1 just doesn't really have enough firepower on the land side of things. A couple of fat boys might be enough, but it's going to be a minute before they really get into range. That crab is just not having a fun day, though. Ooh, there's some bombers sitting on the ground over here. Oh, that's just not great for those guys. Oh, that's like a squadron or so. That's very unfortunate for Strider. Ooh. I mean, the mass is still on Team 1 side of the map, but it's just gotta hurt. Crab is down. Monkey's gonna be the next victim of the Fat Boy dual bombardment. And there's now some counter gunships online for Team 2's Spectre Slave. And there goes the monkey. The gunship won't survive much longer, but there's some Corsairs inbound, so that is going to obviously go after those Fat Boys. And that might be enough to one-tap. Oh, yeah, it's enough to one-tap that Fat Boy. And then the second Fat Boy, of course, might be alive a little bit longer. There's, those look like interceptors, but those are air scouts. The Fat Boy shielding is down. Gunships around it might be enough to kill it off. Corsair is moving in for another attack, and that's a dead Fat Boy on that western side again. Team 1's lost both of those experimentals. Not great for their forward momentum in the Team 2 side of things. And, oh, look, the YOLO has been restarted, and it's back up into the yellow. So Azuros not giving up anytime soon. And it's going after Space Monkey, I guess. Is it going after the comm or just his stuff? It's just going after his stuff. No, it's going after all those land facilities, one after the other. Lots of those spam facilities now dead and gone. Team 1 bombers overhead trying to help out. brick v brick fight versus some Percy's to the north as well from Paradox. More and more Corsairs stacking up, of course. Artillery almost done for Twitchy Mofo. YOLO started by Spectre's Life because why not? Anything you can do, I can do better almost. For Spectre's Life, he's like, well, if Team 1's Azeros is going to build one, I want to build one. And Azeros is going to keep that shielded for a long time. And he's getting multiple shielded placements online consecutively, so love to see that. Rekethur spots the YOLO. We know where the Sathis is going next. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Air grid has been restarted for both these players, but just reeling. We even see a T3 air headquarters online for Stefan. Lots of spam over here for Team 1 on this western side. That Scathis is inbound. Gunships eating Scathis fire, says Fong. Oh, I guess they were, but they were kind of coincidentally receiving it. They've switched targets, though, so not a big concern in that front now. Oh, just lots of shots hitting the shielding. And, of course, the YOLO isn't being built. It's focusing on the shielding more than the actual YOLO. So that's not great. They got to finish it, then they got to keep firing it. Team 2 doesn't have a lot of SMVs. They have a few, but not as many as you would expect to have faced off against the YOLO. Granted, the YOLO isn't done for Team 1. And now Spectre Slave's YOLO is in the yellow, so I don't know. It's one of those situations where do you really need it if you can deny it every time kind of thing? Large amount of forces, whether they're Team 1, T2, T3, T4, just really stacking up. 3 chickens still holding position. There's another monkey added in the mixer for the beast. And that fat boy just shot after shot. Corsairs incoming on Azuro, says Fong. Oh, I guess not. ASF's tasked with that. There are some gunships kind of just out in the open. Those get wiped out by Strider's remaining ASF. Scathis Fire still raining in on this position. Now we have some hives coming in to assist from Space Monkey. And that YOLO is now almost at 50%. And then Spectre Slave's like, stop spamming Team 1. You're going to lag the game. Don't blame them. 400 Team 1 Medusa will definitely not help the sim speed by any means. Dang. This area less defended, only one something. But there's a large group of AA down here, though. That is definitely a worrisome thing. 3 chickens waiting to engage. Monkey's just going to full send it. I don't think that's a wise idea. It's going to go after the Fat Boy. I think the Fat Boy survives this. There's that Percy group still there. Team 1 Bomber's going to help just cement the kill. No, the Fat Boy still dies. The Monkey dies as well. But it keeps the main mobile artillery units from Team 1 at bay, though, because the Fat Boy is going to be the main driver of going after the bases for Team 2. Mass being sent to Azeros, trying to finish that YOLO. YOLO is over 50%. It's going to close in on 75 here shortly. Shields, 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 and more shields. Cybern one's now being deployed by Azeros as well. Just get anything and everything online. Ooh, there's a chunk of the shielding comes offline. Some of it comes back online. T3 artillery done for Twitchy Mofo. I was going to say that's definitely a disruptor shot. And that YOLO is almost in the yellow, almost in the green, I should say, for Spectre Slave. So it's a race to finish the YOLO at this point. Oh, I was going to get a nice screenshot, but I don't think I need that one anymore. YOLO's still alive, but that whole base is gone. Oh, yes, my stimmy check. Thank you, Strider, for the bit of commentary there with your changed of the upgrade names. Bricks inbound, but again, the problem is there's not that many avenues. There's three monkeys down here. Good luck going in any way that way. And because essentially it's a kill box right here, because you have to walk in, Team 2's built so many defenses in terms of mobile or otherwise that it kind of doesn't really matter what Team 1 has. They need a lot more than that to just chew through the defenses. Monkey needs some artillery spam in the way or something. No idea what that's about. A couple of Percy's running around down here going after more AA, but it's only a few of them. There's been so... Oh my, I haven't even noticed this. Look at Spectre Slave AA. There's 93 right there. There's 200 T3 Samsite Myrmidons online. Ooh, that locks out air for a while. Dang. A lot of AA to chew through. YOLO's still alive, but I just don't think it's going to get completed, unfortunately. Azuros has just been beat and battered and torn and just not had a good day this game, and it's just continuing to go that way. Air grid being re-expanded upon for at least Strider. A couple more facilities started for Paradox. Air fight happening in the middle of the map here for Team 2. There's a decent amount of AA. Team 2 is probably going to win it, but they are going to take serious losses, though, as those bouncers nearby are really just ripping apart the remaining ASFs. The gunships, though, that's going to be the worrisome thing. There's a couple of squadrons of them, and unfortunately for Team 1, that's a lot of dead broadswords. They'll scoop up the mass for those, but that's got to hurt. SACU spotted by Space Monkey. It's... what? Oh, he's gifted it over... oh, I see. Space Monkey has gifted everything over to Azuros. Okay, that's what he's saying. That doesn't make any sense. It looks like Team 2's position is going to be fine for a while. Chickens. And, of course, the shielding around the scatters is enough. Air grid's still not shielded enough, especially with the continuous bombardments we've seen. YOLO is about done. If the YOLO finishes, that's probably just game for Team 2 at this point. With a Scathis plus a YOLO, I mean, you'd have to take out at least one, if not both of them, at least for Team 1's perspective, to really come back in this game. The YOLO is still alive for Azuros, barely, but it's still alive. It's not done yet. That's the problem, though. Had this thing been completed, we'd be having a completely different conversation, but it's still not done. And YOLO is now done, and I wonder where it's going. There is, of course, the everything over here that Team 2 is definitely concerned about, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. There's a lot of engineers scooping up mass. Speaking of engineers, 600,000+ reclaimed for Team 1 and Team 2 at 390, almost 400, so more than 1 million mass scooped up by these players. Done very well of recycling stuff on the map. YOLO, yeah, still not really being... I mean, there's some engineers focusing on it, but... strategic launch. Shields, and more shields. YOLO has been unleashed by Team 2, and it's not going for that one. It's going for the one over here. It's going to knock out all of the spam facilities and actually go after the Omni as well, coincidentally. There's a lot of incoming stuff from Team 1. But they have... Team 2 has a decent amount of chickens, monkeys. It should be enough. Here comes the YOLO. Kaboom! As it just wipes everything out in its wake. Look at that. There's a huge hole. Laser finish. Says Space Monkey. Another YOLO is outbound, and it is going for Azuros' position. He does not have an SMD. It's one way to the north. That's not close enough. That thing's going to land. We'll look at that in a second. FAF Boy being targeted by Corsair Fire once again from Twitchy Mofo. Chicken's just having some dances over here, avoiding all of the shots, or at least trying to. Shields being redeployed. Monkeys moving in from the south to assist. That would have been a great use of just sending units down this way now, but they're sending everything and all they have over there. Switching over here, watch the beautiful light show. And Space Monkey's actually just going to walk into it. Unfortunately, will he get away in time? Kaboom! YOLO is dead. He's actually fine. He's hurting a lot, but he's not dead, so that's something. And monkeys and chickens and fat boys and galore over here, but there's so much movement going on for these experimentals. And YOLO actually point defense YOLOing. Ooh, kaboom. You guys really dug in, says Space Monkey. Yes, they did. They have a regular nuke as well. They have quote-unquote regular artillery, quote-unquote regular nukes. So they pretty much have everything they'll need to win this game at this point. Only turtles, says Xbar. YOLO is outbound for, looks like the air grid to the north. No SMDs anywhere in sight on this western side of the map. There's only SMDs here on this eastern side. And that might just be the game at this point. I think I'll speed it up to +2. I died to gunslips. It's unfortunate because I was pushing. It wasn't a landslide. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a landslide, but the Scathis being completed did not help any situation. Kept Team 1's air grid essentially down. Kaboom! There goes the air grid up into the north. Speaking of which, there goes that. That's all gone. Another YOLO outbound. But the Scanthus, I think, was the start of the demise for Team 1. I mean, obviously, could have been a little more focused on the air grids earlier on, but once the YOLO was spotted, that was taken out. Then back to going after bases, then going back to the YOLO. Another YOLO here. Kaboom, taking out more of the spam. I think Spectre Slave wants to save the sim speed. It's like just blow up all of the stuff, spamming up all of the nonsense. And the Team 1 forces are slowly getting through stuff, but there's so much chonky stuff to chew through. I'll just build a second Scathus, because why not? It just doesn't. It's not enough firepower. Team 1 needed like a surprise YOLO or Mavor or something. And they just don't have that anywhere. There is a OSR bomber being built, but that's not going to be enough. We didn't have, of course, the early game. Team 2 was winning with that Renegade push, and then Team 1 got a nice little double kill with the strats and gunships, and they killed off the air grid. They were doing very well, and then Team 2 just dug in, and that was kind of it. Oh, the Whalers don't get too. Oh, you got too close. Not super great on that regard. And they're starting to try to break through on this eastern side, but there's 5 chickens now. It's all Team 1 spam. Couple of T3 units though. It's not going to be enough. Strider, yes, you're upgraded again. Casting, starting a cast shield at level 2. That is. Oh, that's his. That's the chunky shield for the UEF. Got that done very quickly, I might add. But it's just not a whole lot left here for Team 1. They have a bomber. That's really about it. They don't have much anything left. Team 1 hasn't recalled or control K'd yet, so they're still trying to stick with it, but the spam is just not enough at this point. I think somebody spots a YOLO. Record their spots a YOLO. Team 1's Azuris, his 3rd attempt at a YOLO. It's at, I don't even know what percentage that is, almost 33%. 4,000 would be 33%, but YOLO's going to, of course, be the main focus of that Scathus for a little bit at least. And that YOLO hasn't been fired yet. It's nope. Never mind. Just ignore what I said. Going after more stuff. Surprised it's not going after all this. Look at the spam facilities that have been rebuilt in that time since that other YOLO has landed. And it looks like missiles have been spammed up by Space Monkey. It looks like he said he's built TMD. He's building TMD. Looks like Team 2 notices it. No, they don't notice it. They're just wanting to be sure just in case. So great, not foresight, but planning there by Spectre Slave. Like, I don't want that thing to be sniped, so I'm just going to protect it with some TMD and call it a day. He's not building just one. He's building just a line of them. He's like, just draw a line, call it good. I got to do other things. All the mass being sent to Azuris to try to finish the YOLO. But even, I'll say this, even if the YOLO gets finished, I don't think there's enough time for Team 1 to come back. Because, SMD's being spam loaded here. There's a couple of other SMDs kind of dotted around. A regular nuke outbound as well from Team 2. Second scath is almost done. It's going to go after the spam, I would assume. Yep, there it goes. Nice grab there from Unleash just to slow down the immense amount of nonsense that they have to deal with over there. Truly the survival of all time, says Spectre Slave. Yep. They did a very good job, Team 2, of surviving. There was a moment there that it was just not looking good, but they came back with a vengeance. And it's just not going to be enough. I'd give up. Second Scathus is almost done, says Spectre Slave. I mean, that's kind of a fair statement. At 2 Scathi plus a YOLO, I mean, there's not really anything that can be done at that point. Team 1, like I said, just doesn't have anything. Give up. I won't repeat that, but at least I'll point it out in the chat. There's some giving people a hard time going on. Oh! The Awasa Bomber lands and takes out the YOLO. Oh, where's the wreck? No, the wreck is... Oh, no, that's the... Oh, apologies for... Oh, no, where's the YOLO? Where's the Awasa wreck? Wait, hold on. A lot of T3 NGs on a mission. Yeah, I don't know what others are scooping up mass over there. Yeah, what? Hold on a second. What? Where is that? Where's that wreck? Did it fly off somewhere? I don't know. I don't see that. There was definitely a bomb from a Awasa bomber. I just don't know where it went, which is very weird. I just don't see it anywhere. I could just be completely missing it on screen, and someone said it's just right there. It's right there, but you know, there was a bomber being built over there, and then it's no longer here. So it either flew off the map somehow as it was, flying in. But YOLO's dead for Team 2. That's something. But there's still those 2 Scathai to deal with. So I mean, at this point, over 1 hour. There's not much that can be done. The YOLO is still alive somehow underneath a lot of bombardment, but it's not going to live much longer. It just isn't. I mean, everybody. I want to go to sleep. So it's like, you can control K. And Strider's like, just do it. You won't. And it's like, you first. It's like, guys, I just want to go to bed. I want to go to bed. Come on. Team 1's like, do it. And he's like, no, I will survive or I will be killed. One or the other. I will not control K. I mean, at this point, even if Spectre Slave control K, Team 2 still wins the game. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I will point out, Team 1, 1.8K mass income. Team 2, 1.3. Cyber Artillery is truly top tier. Yeah. Well, I mean, I could have told you that. It's not great for accuracy by any means. I mean, look at the nonsense. Look at how many shots I've just missed. It's terrible. I mean, it's good for spread out stuff, but going after a single target, that's why you build the Mavor. That's why you build it, because it's best at just being like point-click die instead of just highlighting a section and being like, you won't take damage. You won't necessarily die, but you'll take damage. Just look at the glory that is that little bit of shielding, or at least a decent amount of shielding with the Scathus being protected. The Monkey Lord, of course, is the Monkey Lord MVP. Monkey Lord's on a guard mission. Oh, look, there's a teleportation inbound, speaking of which. Oh, there goes the teleportation inbound from the Space Monkey. And Spectre Slave's like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And Team 1 loses a play. Good thing I was there while I was taking a look at that Scathus. Missiles down here. There is a monkey that was built by Space Monkey, so actually traded up the strategy there from missiles to monkey, but it's not going to work because Team 1 has multiple monkeys. Sorry, Team 2 has multiple monkeys here. That's an interesting comment. I don't even know what that is, but okay. Looks like YOLO is now officially dead, and Paradox and Strider hanging out over here. I'm gonna go. Spectre says I'm gonna go. Okay. And the remaining stuff now under Azuris' control is dealt with. Mr. President, a second Monkey Lord has hit the fob. Okay. Random. No idea what they're talking about, but at this point they're probably just like, just be done with it. Look at the spam is not stopping. 1.9K. 1.9K income for Team 1. And Team 2 had a YOLO, 2 Scathai, a couple of T3 artillery. They're building another one because why not at this point? And a regular nuke. I mean, they have everything in the kitchen sink, and Team 1's just like, I will not leave. Azuris over here in the northeast, being surrounded by Cormorant-class Torp bombers, and oh, here's some Strat bombers. Oh, look, there's a regular bomber. There's a regular bomber. Awasa bomber running around. Quick, Awasa, drop me Torps. Drop. Awasa, drop. Sorry, bomb the Torps. I can't even talk. There goes the Zeros. Dead bombers from Team 2's Twitchy Mofo. And I think, was that, did somebody control K? No, that's a regular nuke. Kaboom! Doesn't kill off Stefan, though. He get out of range of the main blast radius. Probably should have kept Awasa. There's a desync, but, I mean, come on. I mean, really have to, like, the desync made a difference. No, the desync would not have made a difference. Bombers inbound. Did they drop a payload? No, the shield took a hit, so never mind. It looks like they did. And Strat Bombers inbound. The shielding is down. And the artillery lance takes out most of the most of the kennels. And those Torp Bombers will be possibly enough. There's an SMD hanging out next to them. Oh, no. They're just... It looked like they were in the water. They were not in the water. So never mind. They're just hugging it out now. Still winnable, says the Zeros. And it looks like Paradox Control Ks. Fun, bad map, though. I wouldn't say it's too bad. And there goes... Who was that? That was Strider. And now we see that Stefan is the last remaining player for Team 1. You got this, Stefan. Almost had third scat this as Spectral. I mean, a couple more seconds and he'll get it. If he survives. No, don't kill. No! There he goes. Team 1 loses their last remaining player. That's the game here, folks. Team 2 wins the game at 1 hour, 6.5 minutes. MVP for me, I mean, you got to give it to the guy who had a Scathis online for about 30 minutes. And he got a second one. Almost got a third one. And got a YOLO. I mean, he really pumped out, Arc Game Enders. But cannot forget about the Renegade Rush by Xrar. He did such a good job of just cutting off a lot of the everything for Team 1, at least on the eastern side. Azuros was kind of kicked into the grave, at least a little bit. We had some dirt rubbed on him or something, or dirt kicked in his eyes or something. And then we had Space Monkey took a hit. I think it went a little bit over to the west. Oh, yeah, and the T3 Pigeon got taken out over here for Strider. So most of the players on Team 1 suffered some to a decent chunk of damage on their main bases. And then obviously that kind of awarded Xwar as the main target of Fury for Team 1. So Paradox killed him and then also killed off Rekethor on the western side. But at that point, Team 2 just held down and went, okay, we'll just hang out and tech up, gear up, shield up, scat this up, and call it a day. So MVP for me goes to Spectre Slave, I think. He was essentially the main driving force for Team 2's victory. Of course, nice shout out to Xwar for that early just harassment that lasted a decent amount of time. And then underrated player of the game award, even though his team didn't win, Fong stayed in the game and he assisted his team. Was like, hey, there's a thing over there. Hey, there's a thing over there. Hey, there's a thing over there. Hey, you should build this. Hey, and just constantly trying to take the weight off of Team 1's shoulders a little bit. So I do love that. So good job there, Fong, for just sticking with it and continuing to help out his team. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see all of you in the next one.